Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. In junior year, Mark gave me a love letter just to make his first love, Lily, jealous. I thought his feelings were real, so I ran to him without hesitation. I did my best to help him with his studies, hoping we'd get into the same school. But years later at a reunion, he drunkenly told Lily, "You were mad at me," and said it was for her. So I gave it to her later when there was a fire at the mall we were at. He didn't even look at me, he just grabbed her and ran out. Living through it all again, I saw that letter once more and faced the cheering classmates. I casually handed it to Lily and said, "Isn't this yours? Why joke with me after the rain?" It felt muggy, and the sky was filled with red-orange clouds. Evening study hadn't started yet, and noise filled the hallway. I sat at my desk pretending to read calmly, but my hands were clenched tight. It felt like a ridiculous dream. But I remembered the suffocating feeling from being trapped in the fire. Just like last time, Mark's buddy stood in the doorway and yelled, "Who's starring in this class?" Someone asked me to give her something. They had a love letter, a bouquet, and bubble tea. Everything was simple and sincere. If they hadn't dragged me into this mess, I would have wished them well. Lily was scribbling math problems in her notebook. She was pretty and even looked cute when mad. No wonder she was dubbed the school beauty online. The class got louder. Finally, just like before, she turned to me and scoffed, "Sorry, they're calling you." Answering already, facing her teasing eyes, I didn't feel shy or embarrassed this time, just full of anger. They were almost together but pulled me in out of stubbornness. I foolishly believed that confession was real, but I was just their clown. If everything ended with tonight's drama, I wouldn't dislike them so much. After this, Mark, trying to make her jealous, ended up updating me. Since his confession, he would come to my desk every day. During a power outage, he'd fan me with a paper fan. I'd glare at him, unbothered. He'd say, "Surely, am I not allowed to fan? It's the wind wanting to go your way." Sometimes he'd bring me dinner unasked if I forgot to eat. I was too shy then and said I'd never agreed to date him. Surely, agreeing to date and eating on time are two different things. "If you don't eat, I'll just sit here," he'd say. He'd rarely pay attention in class but would bring me questions. His eyes seemed so sincere. He'd say, "Surely, even if we're miles apart now, I'll work hard and get into the same school as you. You'll say yes eventually." It's odd how easy it is to get swept away at that age. I really thought someone liked me enough to change themselves to be with him. I spent over a year helping him improve his grades. All my shyness, nervousness, and occasional touched moments, he knew it all. But he just watched me fall, using me to make another girl feel possessive. He used me to prove she cared and liked him. She used me to prove he liked her enough to get a rise out of her. With me, the clown, their emotional tug-of-war was brutal. Built on stepping over me, a living person. Thinking about it, I mocked Lily. "I've never been called Starry, my name is Shirley." Lily had friends who'd nickname each other. With all the noise then, and both of them playing dumb, I didn't catch on right away. My voice wasn't loud, but enough for those around us to hear. The conversation shifted to her. "Go get your love letter. Why use a deskmate as a scapegoat?" Someone mocked. Upset, she slammed her notebook shut and snapped, "Not like it's mine. Who'd like him anyway?" Mark overheard as he entered with a basketball. He looked worse than in the past, dropping the ball. He picked up the letter and walked to me. "Shirley, will you be with me?" The hoots grew louder. This time it was different from before. Last time, his buddy tossed the letter on my desk. Days went by without Lily talking to him. To make her jealous, he pursued me, so it played out less messily than it might have. Apart from Mark's buddies and the couple involved, no one knew the letter was for Lily. There was no name at the start of the letter, just two smiley stars drawn in pencil. I thought it was to bridge our gap. Unbeknownst to me, I wasn't his story from the start. "No," I replied calmly, looking into his bright eyes. He seemed unfazed, saying he'd chase me until I agreed. He acted like he genuinely liked me and was determined. Meanwhile, Lily's tears were smudging her notes. Just then Ms. Mandy walked in. She looked at the chaotic classroom, then at the flowers. "What's going on?" The room fell silent instantly. Usually, the teacher wasn't around for another half hour. So why was she early? Because I let her here earlier. I asked her a tough math question. At a time she was busy, she promised to come by early to help me. I timed it so she'd walk in on this scene. I wanted to make a big deal out of it and embarrass the two of them. In my previous life, I started dating Mark right after the SATs, but during our senior year, someone reported us for dating too early. The report ended up on the principal's desk to serve as a warning to others. We were hauled up on stage to read an apology during the Monday assembly. I was so embarrassed. I've never felt so humiliated in my entire life. And it wasn't just embarrassing. My mom found out about it too. She slapped me hard, calling me shameless. Since freshman year, she had always emphasized not dating too early. She used to say that education was the only opportunity for people like us. I really didn't know how to respond to her. The aftermath left me tangled up in drama, both at home and school, during the key time of my senior year. My performance in the college entrance exams wasn't great. Meanwhile, Mark exceeded expectations, thanks to the tutoring I'd been giving him for over a year. Eventually, we both got into the same college. When we got our letters, a teacher just looked at me and asked, "Was it worth it?" I still remember the only apology I ever got from Mark was when he saw the mark that slap left on my face. But was that all he had? I had to apologize for over the following years in college. He had countless opportunities to be honest with me. Was my youth not worth anything? Didn't I deserve someone who genuinely liked me? During that time, I was obsessed with finding out who reported us. It got to the point where everyone in class was paranoid. This wasn't an all-girls school, and if someone really wanted to report their classmates, they could always find a reason to. People even planned to sneak into the principal's office to compare the report letter's handwriting. Mark stopped them back then, saying, "Let it go. Focus on the college entrance exams." During that period, he started reaching out to me even more frequently. His mood seemed unusually good, but I attributed it to his positive mindset. Later, when I went to pick up my admission letter, I happened to walk past the principal's office and saw a few students cleaning inside. On a whim, I joined in to help. While cleaning, I found that report letter tossed in a corner. The handwriting looked exactly like Lily's. I was confused. I thought we were on decent terms. What did she gain from humiliating me? I fetched the letter from the trash and showed it to Mark. He just tried to comfort me, saying, "She might have had something against you back then, but it doesn't matter now." I didn't say anything. He pinched my cheek, saying, "Who knew our Shirley could be so petty?" Ever since then, my mom brought up that issue almost every day. I'd been living under pressure and others' judgment while he dismissed it as a trivial matter. But people have a way of fooling themselves. I lied to myself, thinking he said that because too much time had passed and it was pointless to bring it up again. But looking back, when he saw the report, was he thinking about the shame we felt on stage? Or was he more worried about Lily getting in trouble if people found out she wrote it? During those days, his cheerful mood wasn't to comfort me. It was because I was finally of use to him, and the girl he really liked was starting to care about him. I was blind at the time. I didn't even consider any of this. How could someone treat their own and others' feelings like a joke? But thinking back, there were a lot of holes in their plan. After we got reported, Mark often bought milk tea for me and other classmates, including Lily, but she'd always toss hers right in the trash. I thought she just didn't like Mark. It never crossed my mind to suspect otherwise. Later, when seats were reassigned, I told Lily I wanted to sit with someone else. I assumed we wouldn't be desk mates anymore. But she acted like nothing had happened and sat next to me again. Ironically, I joked with friends that it must be Mark she disliked, not me. I even teased Mark, telling him not to harass other classmates. Thinking back, he must have been delighted. Once again, I proved how much the girl he really liked cared about him. The more I think about it, the more disgusted I feel. What did I do to deserve such messed up people in this relationship? Relationship want to play games. Let's see who outplays who. Miss Mandy asked whose the bouquet of baby's breath on the desk was for. With teary eyes, Lily pointed to me and said quietly, "For Shirley." Unable to hold back, I raised my voice and cut the pretending. "Who's it really for? Don't you know better?" My words enraged Mark. He glared at me coldly. Seeing things blow up like this, I wondered if he'd still have the nerve to approach me. To save face for the three of us, Miss Mandy took us to her office. Settling into her chair, she looked at Mark and asked, "What's going on?" Lily cried even more. Her family was really strict, She couldn't let them know about her romantic issues. But she still wrote that report years ago, watching me become a spectacle for the whole school, and watching my mom show up in a panic. Standing in that office with Lily's tears dripping onto the floor and her hands unnervously picking at her nails, I just watched with cold detachment, as if I was an outsider watching a scene unfold. Perhaps my attitude further angered Mark, who always had confidence boosted by his not bad looks. His success in winning over girls always came easily. Looking at me defiantly, he said, "I'm the one who liked Shirley. She had nothing to do with it." Upon hearing that, Lily finally let out a sigh of relief. Seriously, how can two people be that disgusting together? Are they really getting all emotional over their so-called love for each other to protect you? I dragged an irrelevant person into this mess to share the blame. Now do you see how much I like you? I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Mark glared at me again and I just rolled my eyes at him. I said bluntly, "Are you really getting emotional over your own feelings? Why should I care who likes who? But at least as a guy you should own up to your actions, right? Do you dare to swear that the letter to Starry was meant for me? Do you even know how to spell my name correctly, you illiterate fool? Surely that's a bit much." Miss Mandy seemed like she was about to laugh but held it in. There's no way I'm listening to her. I've lived two lives, and I'm not about to get fooled by these two idiots. I should just end this absurdity now. I acted extremely angry, even shedding a few confusing tears, and said, "Who's making it personal? Teacher, I'm just minding my own business here. Isn't it all about owning up to your actions? Making me take the fall for you guys over a love letter? You can't just pin something on someone out of nowhere. Especially with so many cameras around campus that show who's hanging out with who. My parents are strict. I can ask my mom to come over and watch the surveillance footage. I haven't had any interaction with this student recently." As soon as I mentioned calling in parents, Lily panicked. She burst into tears and said, "Teacher, it was meant for me, but I swear I'm not in a relationship yet. I was just scared." Now Mark was completely dumbstruck. Most likely, he was willing to take the blame because he thought of himself as someone, the kind of hero, but having it forced on him just made him look worse. Mark stood there dumbfounded looking at Lily. Then with clenched fists he said coldly, "Teacher, yes. I'm the one bothering Lily. Please don't blame her." Watching him act all pretentious, I couldn't help but roll my eyes again. "What kind of look is that?" he snapped, glaring at me. "Teacher, he's being mean to me." I looked at the teacher with puppy eyes. Mark's glare only grew more intense. Not bothered, I continued. "So Mark, were you trying to protect your beloved Lily by blaming me?" Mark stayed silent with a stern look. "Teacher, let's face it, we're just here to study. If I hadn't spoken up today, what then?" I looked at Miss Mandy with my eyes all teary and red. Miss Mandy gently put her arm around my shoulder, then looked at Mark and Lily. "Whatever's going on between you two, dragging an innocent student into this is not okay. You both owe Shirley an apology." Being reborn, I finally got an unwilling apology from the two. After that, it was no longer my problem as I left the office. Back in class the next day, both of them had to face their parents. We didn't know the outcome, but Lily was no longer my desk mate. She had really puffy eyes for a few days. She must have cried a lot. The funniest part was when the teacher suddenly brought it up during class. Feeling emotions at your age is normal, but girls, when you graduate and look for a boyfriend, remember one thing. Character is crucial. If he can drag innocent people into his problems, how well do you think he'll treat you later? The same goes for you guys. If the girl you like can easily wrong someone else, is she really worth your affections? This indirect roast left Lily almost bawling, her tears practically enough to wipe the desk clean. Mark had no idea how many times he glared at me. My constant rolling of eyes was making me dizzy. I didn't openly talk about what happened with my classmates, but after that night's drama, everyone knew. So during breaks, they became the laughingstock of our class. "Mark, you better start writing your next romance drama script, or I'm not watching it. Did you really think you'd make yourself cry? Why are some people even crying? Isn't it because you tried framing others for your romance? Feeling guilty about how dirty it feels? This girl doesn't just cry. She's so mean she pointed her boyfriend toward her desk mate. It's terrifying." Lily couldn't hear it any longer and ran out. Mark marched directly to my desk, tossed my workbook aside and snapped, "Aren't you done yet?" He leaned over, glaring down at me from his height. I threw up a slap right away, then quickly stabbed his hand with my pen before he could react. "Found no one else to pick on, huh? Do I owe you two anything?" I coldly met his eyes with that question. "Fine, just you wait," he said before storming off. Some classmates, worried Mark might mess with me, volunteered to walk me home. Since I'm a day student, my mom rented a place near school to take care of me. Evening classes let out at 9:30 p.m., so after what Mark said, everyone was concerned. I nonchalantly chuckled. "We're all just classmates. It's unlikely Mark would go that far." "I actually hope he does," I added, because I want to see how far he'll go. A few days later, one of Mark's lackeys passed along a message asking me to apologize to Lily to settle things, or else face the consequences, he threatened. Trying to provoke them, I replied, "What consequences? I can't wait to find out." Honestly, since being reborn, I've been holding on to this frustration, not just from being deceived, but from the feelings, time, and effort wasted on him. Revenge replayed in my mind daily. Finally, on a Friday evening, heading home like any other day, I was stopped by Mark's group in the alley. Lily stood beside him, cautiously holding his shoulder, saying, "Mark, let it go. I don't want you getting hurt for me again." Mark gently patted her hand, assuring her, "It's okay. I've got this." He walked toward me one step at a time, cornering me against the wall. "Surely there's no need for a young girl to be so manipulative, right?" I said, "Since we're classmates, if you just apologize to Lily, we can let this go." I looked up at him, seeing him act all thug-like. Thinking back to those years we were together, all I felt was disgust. I must have given him too many filters back then. He's always been like this, so full of himself. I mouthed a word at him. "Asshole." Sure enough, in the night he was furious. His fist raised up and he swung at me. I closed my eyes, hoping he'd take a swing, but it didn't go as planned. His fist didn't land on me. It hit the wall instead. He froze for a moment and I even saw some hurt in his eyes. By then, police sirens were already blaring. His buddies all took off. A few got caught right there. Mark looked at the cops and then back at me. "You did this on purpose." I ignored him and shouted, "Police, help me." Since he didn't actually lay a hand on me and insisted he was just trying to pursue me, there were no cameras in that spot either. But he and his buddies harassed me and got caught, so they ended up detained at the station for a few days. When the school found out about it, Mark got put on probation. Back at school, I half expected him to try again. I was kind of hoping to get him locked up for real, but he chickened out. He just kept calling me scheming, saying he couldn't mess with me, so he'd avoid me. He claimed I set him up deliberately to ruin him, spreading rumors that I could survive to the last episode in a palace drama. I shot back, "Yeah, he's the dumbest." So dumb he tried to attack a girl late at night, and blamed her for calling the cops. What should we excuse him? Because he's crazy? Can't just be dumb. They've got to frame people too. It's scary. The noise died down quickly. Boring. They couldn't take it. I was waiting for their next move. But honestly, I wasn't just focused on them. My mom saved my money under my name each year, even gave me the card. Over the years, it had grown to about 30 grand. I set the password myself, and thanks to my past life, I had a knack for stocks plus some foresight. In half a semester, I turned it over dozens of times. I didn't hide it from my mom when I withdrew the money. Dad passed early, so it was hard for her alone. I said I started with simulations and saw I was often right. So I took a gamble and made up all sorts of reasons to ease her worries. With that money, life got easier for Mom and me. The World Cup came around soon, and I gambled big time. In just a month, I amassed more wealth than I ever imagined before. Suddenly, I felt this was the point of a second life. To gather as much money as I could. As for remembering most of the scores so well, I had to thank Mark for drilling them into my head in the past life. Back then, my grades were top 3 in class but only top 20 in the grade. Now, with enough money, I enrolled in one-on-one tutoring. By the time we did mock exams in senior year, I was top 5 in the grade. The school was strict on early dating, partly because our town wasn't well off and was pretty remote. Most people had modest backgrounds, and studying was our best chance. I didn't hold any grudges against other classmates. They'd help me a lot. I even used some money to aid the class's poor students. I also had Miss Mandy start free tutoring sessions. Folks asked why I was suddenly so generous. I blamed it on my mom, saying she won a lottery prize, bought a house with it, and wanted to share the luck. I didn't say too much though. You don't flaunt wealth. Still, I'm willing to help those around me if I can. Lily and Mark didn't attend the tutoring because of pride. That was only part of it. Mostly it was their emotional drama. Without me in the mix, they didn't end up together. They seemed to need someone else's approval for their feelings. While we were all busy prepping for college exams, they were tangled up in whether the other liked them. To make Mark jealous, Lily started dating a bad boy from another school. Mark tried to fight him and ended up seriously injured. So not surprisingly, Lily was crying in class almost every day. Girls comforted her. She just kept saying, "I didn't mean for this to happen. I thought he didn't like me anymore. I never thought he'd go that far, but we can't be together. My parents won't allow it." They made it sound like they wouldn't make it to graduation. Maybe my mindset got twisted. I found it an amusing distraction from senior stress. After all, the exam pressure was insane. They were the only ones not getting it. Unexpectedly, Mark returned to school after getting out of the hospital, and he targeted me, not Lily, for his drama. Instead of reuniting with Lily, he started bothering me. He stared at me during class until my skin crawled. Once the bell rang, he'd approach me step by step. My friends and I were ready for him. I even had a fruit knife tucked away, wondering if it would count as self-defense. But he suddenly blurted out, "Shirley, when are you gonna tutor me? We've already wasted so much time." My friends were like, "Tutor G." I kind of figured he probably got hit hard enough to remember bits of our past life. But what's that got to do with me? Does thinking too much make you dumb in this kind of relationship? He actually thought I'd still tutor him. I gave him a cold look and said, "Who are you?" He had the nerve to look hurt. "Shirley, you've really changed. Need me to call a doctor for you?" "Shirley, I knew you'd still care about me. I'm really fine now." Since he got out of the hospital, he's even more annoying. Mental illness needs meds and doctors, you know that, right? I continued to mock him. He looked a bit stunned, then just looked hurt. "Sorry, didn't mean to bother you." Oh, the drama. Why doesn't he go find his love letter writing muse for tutoring instead of coming to me for attention? Pathetic. Have acting standards really dropped this low? I thought I wouldn't have to see them again soon, given there's only 2 months and 10 days until finals. But those days ended up being a real grind. It felt like an eternity. Mark was acting all out of sync daily, doing things to impress only himself. Every morning, I'd find breakfast he bought on my desk. He stood there cautiously. "I remember you like these. If not, I'll get something else." "Mark, what's wrong with you? Stop dragging me into this childish nonsense, or I'll make sure they take you to the psych ward or the police station." "Your pick," I warned him. "Shirley, when did you become so mean?" He looked like he might cry. "Been sick for 2 lifetimes, huh? Hope he can afford therapy in this one." But he didn't pay any mind to my threats and brought me lunch too. "Mark, ever consider being a delivery guy? You love delivering food so much, it's perfect for you." "Why just annoy me?" "Shirley, I just want you to have something good to eat." The guy's nuts. I can't handle it. He kept talking. "Shirley, I can choose who I care about." Crazy. I gave up reasoning with him and contacted Miss Mandy. "Sorry for the trouble, dear teacher. My gratitude will come as stock tips post-graduation." I insisted Mark was harassing me. Ms. Mandy tried talking to him multiple times, but he did whatever he wanted anyway. Finally, the school had him study from home. All that's left is exams and revision, and he's got disciplinary stuff hanging over him. Before leaving, he came to me looking all wounded. "Shirley, do you really hate me this much?" I knew what he meant but played dumb. "What are you talking about? If you keep this up, I'll call the cops." "Shirley, you really don't remember last time? Were you trying to get me in trouble? How can you be so harsh now? Gross. Who let you call my name like that? Did I tell you to have someone ambush me at night? All you do is go from dumb to dumber every day. Oh wait, and more annoying too." I didn't hold back attacking him. No clue why he thinks of past life stuff went to me instead of Lily, But if I can jab him verbally, I'm all in. No, that's not what I meant. He fumbled, lost. Stop bothering me. It's really off-putting. With that, I turned back to class. Mark left dejected. I didn't expect Lily to. Oh, come looking for me next. This is your game plan? Mark's into you now. These psychos think I'm an easy target. Push me and I won't hold back. Is this seriously all you've got? If ignorance is bliss, you're winning. Why not go to acting school instead of harassing me daily? Is delusion catching? You both are beyond help. Now what did I win? Anything other than love triangles up there in your brain? I wasn't done, but she ran off crying. Someday I'll get them admitted. The grueling days finally ended. Finals came. Like my classmates, I was both nervous and excited, even though I'd done this before in my last life. But I was a failure back then. This time I'm getting my glory back. I was in a pretty good mood until that psycho came for me again with more self-absorbed antics. Shirley, I wish you all the success. He skipped the finals just to wait outside for me so he could say this. Didn't touch me one bit. I'm awesome. Soaring success isn't unexpected. How about you find a school to repeat at? Maybe try an acting program. You both love that. As a classmate, I wish you success too. Just keep the drama to yourselves, okay? Shirley, do we have to be like this? Do I know you? No, I guess not, he said, looking down, and walked away. I grabbed my pencil case and exam pass and headed to the test. I'm definitely living my life large this time. After finals, we had one last class party. Mark showed up too. While I was having a blast with the crew, he sat there watching, same old, making me uncomfortable. I didn't bother engaging with him, but there was a silver lining. Thanks to reliving another life and making some cash, I helped a few classmates who dropped out finish high school. I told them a generous person offered to fund their college. Made up, of course. That generous benefactor is me. My rules: to help without bringing myself trouble. After dinner, we all hit up a karaoke joint. To be honest, I can be real petty. Mark wanted to come along, so I let him. No complaints from me. When it was my turn to sing, I deliberately picked a song Mark once taught me. He practiced it countless times back when he wanted to confess to Lily at our last graduation party. This was the song he sang. He was singing it for her, but ended up telling me it was for me. I was so moved that I listened to it over and over. He played dumb and coolly taught me the song. I grabbed the mic and started singing along to the beat. Mark was totally caught off guard. He didn't even notice when his drink hit the floor. After the song, I made a quick escape using some family excuse. Mark followed me out. I was walking ahead, him trailing behind, neither of us saying a word. Near my apartment entrance, he just couldn't hold it anymore. He came towards me, his voice a bit shaky. Surely you remember it all, don't you? Remember what losing your mind again? Yes, I am losing it. You're driving me crazy. He moved in for a hug. I pulled out a taser and aimed it at him. Try coming closer, I dare you. He raised his hands nervously, saying, Surely, trust me, I won't hurt you again. You think too highly of yourself. You really think you can? Honestly, you annoy me. Just thinking about you makes me sick. Sick. But what about what you did? You're right, I don't want to disturb you anymore. He walked away. That was the last time we saw each other. With what I knew from coming back to life, I made some smart investments after exams. I used my earnings from the World Cup to invest in real estate, internet stocks, and funds. During college, I accumulated wealth I couldn't have even dreamed of before. Turns out, money really does flow to those who don't need it. I used to not believe in past lives, fate, or any godly stuff, but having a chance like this felt like I was just a temporary channel for all this money. So, I went back to my economically downtrodden hometown. I started businesses and opened factories there. I even invested $50 million into building schools. I brought in more talented teachers, making a difference. This was my purpose for being reborn. With foresight, I wasn't gonna waste it on pointless drama. Years later, I heard about Mark again. I was starting a new scholarship at a school, increasing it to 100 spots. Some of our old classmates came back as teachers. One mentioned Mark, saying she didn't know when he started having mental issues. He went around looking for answers to past lives or reincarnation. What was shocking is that Lily was still by his side, insisting that he would snap out of it. I just smiled faintly at this. They're irrelevant to me now. They've got their own issues to work through, but I've got mine. I did have a relationship. The guy really impressed me. We were both into charity work. In this new life, I'm pretty damn happy with myself. Mark's epilogue. When I realized I'd been reborn, I was over the moon. In my last life, I left Shirley to save someone I thought I loved the most. Then Shirley died in a fire. In the end, I wasn't with Lily. We always seemed to drift apart for random reasons. She felt insecure, needing constant proof of my love. Even after Shirley's death, she kept asking, "Is she more important just because she's gone?" I said I could die too. That line was like a bomb. I completely lost it and slapped her. She ran out crying. I called and messaged her but got nothing back. A month later, she had a new guy. When I confronted her, I got hit by a car. She rushed over, hugged me, and said she just wanted to know if I still liked her. Liked her? We'd been going around in circles with that question for almost a decade. Did I like her? Didn't she know? I suddenly felt exhausted. I had to prove I liked her with countless acts. Leaving work meetings to cook for her, that's liking her. Driving over 100 miles for her favorite foods, coming back tired, that's liking her. Fighting other guys for her, bleeding proves I like her. I was really just tired. My eyelids got heavier and heavier. In that moment, I suddenly thought of Shirley. She must hate me. Just as I thought, she really did hate me. She once loved me so much, but plans. I needed to get locked up when I sought her out. Her eyes were cold, like we never even knew each other. Those eyes were full of disgust. I couldn't take it. I wanted to rewind, go back to how it was. Only to find myself standing there alone. Nothing was possible between us anymore. Then that night, with that song, it sparked hope. We must both be reborn. Maybe she just holds a grudge from the past life. I could make it up to her. I held on to that final hope, following her home. Then she hit me with those nightmare-inducing words. She didn't want to see me, said I disgusted her, even had a repulsive dream about me. I knew what she was talking about. Just a dream. Yet it disgusted her so much. What's real? What's fake? Thanks to my past life, I retook the test and got into college too. It wasn't where she was, but I chose her city. Only this city was huge. We never ran into each other. I secretly visited her school a few times. She wasn't the same. Just like a shining star, I didn't disturb her anymore. Using the last bits of past life info, I made some money, but a lot of times it felt like a dream. When I woke up, Shirley would be there. We'd make our cozy home. She'd push me to study and get certified, but this dream was hard to wake up from. Sometimes I even thought the past life was a dream. Searching for answers, Lily unexpectedly stuck by me. She changed too. She stopped needing me to prove my love. She just wanted the old me back. But can any of us really go back?